Hello, we will be starting here in about a minute or two, just to allow people to come in, and then we'll get started. All right. All Adair locations will be closed from December 25th to January 2nd. Sweet. Oh, definitely like how this design looks. Very customized on just the standards.
Yeah, looks sharp.
Yeah.
Does that one have the modern exterior on it yet?
It didn't look like we did the modern on this particular one.
Okay.
I know a lot of the other ones were just updated today with I don't see it on this one yet. So I'd be curious if they do it. All right, guys, just about another minute and we will get started.
Chris, did you have the chat feature disabled yet?
Great call. Let's go here. Show chat. Wonder if did I have to do that before we went live?
No, I think you can do it now.
It's not giving me that option. Just says
All right.
show chat preview. That's it.
Well, I can just chat about it when we get started here.
Host and panelist. Yeah, I think we're already defaulted.
Okay.
All right. Well, I think we gave about 2 minutes to get anybody else who wanted to come in at the moment. But my name is Chris Josephson. I'm a homeownership counselor here at our Olympia branch in Washington State. And I'm joined today by Justin Keller. How's it going, Justin?
It's going great.
Great.
Thank you for allowing me to participate.
Absolutely. So Justin and I are both HOCs here at our branch, but maybe as you know, Adair builds in 4 different states. I think we have about 19 branches in those 4 different states. But today we're just going to be talking a little bit about the Tamarack model, and also kind of some modifications and some kind of fun things that this homeowner did when they built the Tamarack. Overall, I think we'll just kind of start off with a little bit about our website. So currently I'm at adairhomes.com, and how I got here is we can view all of our floor plans. And what's kind of cool is it brings up that we have about 47 different floor plans to choose from. And what's kind of neat about our website is we can be really specific about where we are building. So I'm currently, I said Olympia, but we're technically in a county called Thurston County. But when I hit this change button, I can kind of see what states are available. So we got Washington, Oregon, Idaho, and Arizona. So for me, I would pick Washington, and then I would say, okay, am I in the South Puget Sound area? So for me, I am. So I'd click it, and then I can kind of pick which county that I am maybe interested in building, or maybe have a lot already. What's kind of neat about that is it really makes our pricing and availability of our designs very specific to where you're building. So for now, I'll hit the Thurston County button, which then gives me the current pricing and the current design lineup. So pretty cool, just to kind of get detailed into a little bit of navigation of our website. Ton of resources here, kind of at the top. Build timelines, why choose Adair? We've been in business for over 50 years. So really neat resources, some events, possibly how you even found out about this event, kind of shows what we are doing. And then if you ever need to get a hold of us, you either have our phone number, or in this bottom right corner, you can kind of click this button and you can pretty much, I think 24/7, kind of message us, and we'll try to get back to you either instantly or within a few hours. So kind of some neat instant communication back and forth and information. But again, today we'll scroll down and we will select our Tamarack model, since that's what we did a virtual open house on. And So let's get down here. It is, oops, I went a little too far. The standard square footage is 2,979 square feet of the Tamarack. We will be talking about a little bit of modifications today. So the technical one that we'll be watching here shortly, they did some reducing of square footage, but we'll go over kind of the differences. Now that I'm on the Tamarack, I kind of get some really cool additional information about the home. So it's starting price of $492,999, and that's going to be the starting price out of my location here in Thurston County. It'll tell me how many bedrooms there are, how many bathrooms there are, a little brief description of it. It'll give me kind of the floor plan. So if I wanted a top-down version to kind of see, you know, where is my primary suite going to be located, kind of the primary bathroom, just the overall layout kind of gives me what Adair's pre-designed. And then if I keep on scrolling down, I'll get some options about what does the outside look like. Adair has a bunch of different outside looks. This particular model comes in the Traditions model. Impressions. So as we kind of go through, we can see slight changes to the actual home itself. And then we have our Craftsman model where we are introducing a little bit of cedar mixed with our hardy siding. So it's kind of cool. Got to get to see the differences between what we've already pre-designed for the exterior only of the home. Again, if we keep on scrolling down, we start this really cool photo gallery of a bunch of our homeowners that allowed us to take photos, and we kind of curate those and show off some of those modifications or maybe some of the standards. So you can kind of click on that. Oh, and there's going to be actually the home that we're going to be looking at today. But you kind of go through and just see what the spacing looks like, get a good idea. This particular home has about 30 different photos that you can kind of see. There again, it's going to be different homes and different designs, different selections, but we try to just kind of show off what that looks like. And then right here, other virtual tours. So we're going to do one today of a home of a Tamarack that's modified, but there are other virtual tours that we've done on our YouTube channel. So this one here, you click on it, instantly brings you to our YouTube channel where there's actually hundreds of virtual tours of all sorts of models. But this particular one is going to link you to the Tamarack design. As we continue to scroll down on the page, again, just a lot more additional information. But what's kind of cool right here is it starts talking about all different prices. So we talked about where it starts at for the Traditions model. But if we were interested in the Impressions, it's just a little bit more because there's extra details. It's called a hip roof. Basically, the roofing is just a little bit taller. It gives it a little more grand look. And then we have our Craftsman model, which is a little bit more because we are introducing that cedar siding. We're doing an upgraded front door. All sorts of Craftsman style exterior upgrades are included in our Craftsman model. So that's kind of a neat thing that shows different pricing right there on our website. From there, if we kind of scroll all the way back up, there's a couple of neat features. So really what's neat is we instantly know kind of the starting price of the home. What that is from the foundation up. So that's not including the land, any prepping of the land. This is just the home, because again, we don't know if you already own land, what kind of utilities are needed on the land. So what we do know is how much it costs to build the home. But what's kind of cool if you want to figure out, okay, well, what about if I want to do some upgrades, or what if I do want to include the land price that I see maybe with my real estate agent, Zillow, Redfin. What is going to be possibly the total price with that land and a Tamarack model or any of our models? We have a built-in this cool little cost to build button. So if I click it, it will bring me to this estimate your project cost page. Kind of scroll down, and it already knows that I came from the Tamarack model. It starts off with our Traditions, but if I wanted to see how much the Impressions, it automatically changes to the current pricing of that model, again, out of my branch. So if I wanted to just start off with the Traditions, $492,999. And actually, real quick, let me take a time out. Justin, I kind of skipped over the Q&A section. Would you like to kind of explain to our visitors what that looks like?
Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks, Chris. So yeah, we love these to be as interactive as possible, you guys. So more questions, the better. Feel free to fire them off as we go through this. Chris is going to be going through this home virtually here in just a minute. But as we start going through that, oftentimes people have lots of questions and we'd love to see them. So there is a feature down there at the bottom that says Q&A. That's the chat feature we would like you to use. The one that says chat, we attempted to disable just because we can't really track it very well there. So the Q&A feature is really what you want to use. And if you have any questions about our process, products, anything that you see on the video or anything that Chris is talking about today, please fire them off and we will be sure to answer them for you.
Yeah, and if you do ask those questions, Justin sees them. Justin's going to feel free to kind of interrupt me, stop me, so we can address those as quick as possible. But we'll also have a point at the end if there's additional questions that we just didn't cover or maybe wasn't specific about the Tamarack. We're more than happy to answer. Awesome. Thank you so much, Justin. So this tool again will kind of give us an idea of maybe what we want to invest or what our project cost might be. And this is all super flexible, right? So this is if you're interested in the Tamarack, you may not have an idea exactly how much or any upgrades that you might want to do. What we start off with is right here, it says average customer maybe invest about 20% of the project onto upgrades. That could be for higher ceilings, like 9-foot ceilings. That could be for maybe upgraded flooring, upgraded countertops, maybe a custom cabinetry. Those type of things might be considered kind of the upgrades. And so this here kind of gives you an idea like, okay, maybe if I spent, 50 grand in upgrades, or well, we'll just use 40, then great, we can place that there. And then if I'm looking on Redfin, Zillow, maybe a real estate agent again sending me some land for sale, I can put in the land price here. And so again, that can be adjusted. And right there, we'll just kind of leave it at the 125,000. Again, land prices are very specific to the area that you're looking to build. It fluctuates, but we'll just use that. And then there's this little button here. It says add optional contingency of 5%. And so what that means is, could there be something that is unforeseen? And we don't want to kind of max out our budget without potential having some wiggle room of additional funds that may be needed. Maybe a transformer that the power company is installing, for whatever reason, the price went up, maybe a couple $100. Well, you just want to make sure you have some additional money, or maybe somebody's excavating, moving dirt where the house is going to go, and they run into some crazy tree root that makes their excavation go a little bit more than they thought. Again, you just kind of want to have some additional money. And one of the recommendations that we do is about 5%. So if I wanted to click that, I can do that. And I can hit calculate results. And it says, okay, if you chose the Tamarack, if you spent 40 grand in upgrades, and if you spent 125,000 on that property with a 5% contingency, your total project could be 671 to 711, right? And then it says plus site development costs. That could be for like wells, septics, tree removal, just things to get the lot prepared. Again, that kind of formula and thought process can be done on 1,000 square foot home versus this one's almost 3,000 square feet. But you can kind of play with numbers, which is really cool. It's a cool little calculator that we offer for free on our website to kind of give a ballpark to see if the Tamarack is a good fit, or to maybe even see what size or how much you should be spending on the property itself if you really like the Tamarack. Any questions on that you got so far, Justin, or maybe you have?
No, I think we're good to go.
Perfect. So what I'm gonna do is hit the go back button, brings me back to the estimating tool, and then I guess I'll hit the back button again. So that was kind of a cool integrated feature into our website for the cost to build. And now there's a second cool integrated feature that's right on every single page. And that's something called the interactive floor plan. So say, well, this primary suite looks big, but what does that actually mean? What does it look like if I put a king bed in there or some side tables? What if I want the garage on the right side versus the left side? What would that look like? Sometimes it's hard to visualize. So what's kind of cool is you hit this interactive floor plan, brings you to this kind of new page where what's kind of cool is also tells you the width of the home. So you don't have to guess how wide it is, how deep it is right on there. Then you have some controls off here on the right-hand side of the website. And on there, you can kind of sit there and just click a couple buttons. And all of a sudden I have the either, garage on the left, garage on the right. It might fit the lot a little bit better being there. Same price, easy to, we call it standard or reverse internally, but it's more just mirroring. So it gives more flexibility to whatever lot that you're interested in. So kind of cool to kind of see that. If I need to get it closer, I can zoom in. And then off here to the left, I have some cool little pre-designed options. And so if I wanted right here, it's pre-designed to have a grilling porch. If I wanted to do, say, oops, let me scroll up. It has a pre-designed grilling porch, but maybe I want an additional covered patio. Great. Now that's our pre-priced standard width and depth covered patio. So I can kind of see what that looks like. Great. Maybe I want a dual primary suite. Well, maybe I don't want that grilling porch because now I have that covered patio, but maybe my mother-in-law's coming or maybe other additional family member. And I just kind of want to have another dual primary suite. Well, I can sit there and kind of say, oh, that's where that would go. Great. It's already pre-designed. Adair has already something available for me, which is great. I have a gourmet kitchen, bonus room. Say I don't want it to be a dual primary suite, and maybe I want it to be a movie room or some type of entertainment room or just a playroom of some sort. You can kind of see what happens with that adjustment. So pretty cool there. And then right here, if we don't want the den right at the entryway, and I kind of want a formal dining room, you can easily kind of change that. And what it's doing is building an entryway from the kitchen into the dining room. So it makes it a lot easier to get there, or just keep it as a den. So kind of neat there. Furniture, kind of go back to what happens if I do a king bed. I just kind of grab it, hold my mouse, and then bring it here. And then I can kind of rotate it. Oops. No, take me back. I think I had the wrong button. There you go, rotating it. And then I can kind of see, boom, that's what it would look like having a king bed in that room. And there's all sorts of different options to kind of see what that looks like, nightstands. So again, kind of a cool feature, interactive floor plan. I think there's another one where you can take notes, you can sit here and draw. I like the color red. And on here, if I wanted to say, hey, Chris, what if I don't want this primary or this bathroom 3? And what I do want is to, I don't know, maybe do something different with this pantry, and I wanted to add a pantry here. You can kind of mark things up and then present that to your local office or to the home ownership counselor. And we can sit there and say, yep, we can absolutely modify and move the pantry over. And by having some red lines or some drawings, you can print this out, send it over to us, and we can evaluate it, see what that looks like, and let you know, yep, we can absolutely do that. Or, hey, maybe this option might be better. So again, a lot of cool features just right here on our website, which I really love. I think they're super awesome. All right, I think let's get into the virtual. So again, what this home is a 2,900 square foot home. So again, it's a 2,979 originally. What we're going to watch today is a customer who was building in an area that had certain limitations. The first limitation was they couldn't be as wide as the Tamarack standard is. So they had to kind of shrink it up a little bit. They also had a height restriction. There's a bunch of views where they're at. They could not build too high to obstruct other people's views. So we had to do a little bit of modifications to that home. And so what I will pull up now is some of those modifications. And so let me kind of scroll down here. So the first thing that you might notice is kind of off here to the left. What we did is there's a garage kind of like a little utility mudroom entry thing here, and then we got the kitchen. If we go back to the original plan, you can kind of see there's this whole grilling porch, storage, pantry. The utility room was kind of behind the shop. And so what we really did is we kind of took this whole grilling porch, storage, pantry section out. We shifted some of this to the, I guess, to the right, because we also removed bedroom 3. So if you kind of go here, bedroom 3 was kind of in this area, and we kind of shortened it and made it a pantry. We did keep the den, but what we did was just kind of shrink things and took a few things out. We enlarged where the utility room is. That's kind of their shop now. So that was some modifications that we did there. We also did a little bit more to the exterior. So I talked about the height restriction. Again, it's very common for homeowners that need these type of little modifications to be able to build on the lot that they are looking to do. And the neat thing about Adair Homes, we're so used to modifying existing homes. We actually have a whole custom home path that we can really make any of our floor plans meet the needs of your lot specifically, or any HOAs that you have. You know, they might require metal roofs or all sorts of things. But anyways, this particular homeowner, it was a height restriction. And so, you know, on our plans, we call out, you know, the specific ridge height. And so a lot of this design had a lot to do with the height of their restriction. We also made these little peaks a little bit shorter than normal. Some of them would be all, I guess, a little bit more pointy is the non-construction way to say it. But we also kind of updated the front of the garage. They were very adamant about having 2 single-car garages in a 2-car kind of garage space. They just love that look. They felt like it added more kind of custom character to it. The garage doors themselves aren't arched, but what we did is we kind of arched the siding on the outside a little bit, and then we kind of got some windows that kind of match that arched feeling to it. So really cool there. We also updated the front entry. This is kind of a timber framed custom front entry kind of porch. But the Craftsman itself is what they went after. They wanted the Craftsman look with a few modifications to it. So this is going to be the cedar shake up here. The front entry is going to be kind of our standard Craftsman style front entry door. So again, you'll see it in the video here shortly. We did do some modifications to these side lights. Normally they're full windows, and you'll see in the video that what we did is they were a little bit, they wanted some privacy. So they wanted there to be a nice uniform with the entry door, but normally this side light would be full, all the way down would be kind of a clear glass window. But we kind of shrunk it up and made it a little bit tinier here. But the window grids are going to be standard with our Craftsman design. They're a little bit taller here because we did a little bit taller ceilings inside of this house. So we did the 9-foot ceilings. So when you do that, all of the windows grow about a foot taller. So kind of nice, makes them nice and big. And then on the, this is kind of the side elevation of the, or the side view of the home. We did a back patio cover, which you'll see here in a moment, which is right here. So this here is a timber framed patio cover, and it is very customized where they wanted kind of this nice design on the back, really thick beams. And then I know it looks like it's these transom windows. We kind of did that in the great room. It looks like it kind of blocks it, but when we watch the video, it looks fantastic. So we'll get to that in just a moment. But again, this is just a modified version of the Tamarack. Really, everything to the right of the kitchen is pretty much all standard. We did some upgrades in the primary bathroom where they wanted this kind of awesome walk-in shower, which we'll get to, which I think we're ready to get into right now. Any questions so far, Justin?
Nope. No, yeah, I think we're ready for the video portion.
Awesome. All right, so again, this is the Tamarack. This is the front view of it. Kind of before we start the video, what we're kind of looking at, again, this was a raw piece of property. So this homeowner had to get in there, clear all the trees, get things flat, get an area. Really, there's really only one spot to build this house, and we got it to fit right where it needed to be. But the pricing on our website is for the house itself and the footprint of the house, everything on the exterior of the house, concrete work, driveways, landscaping, that's all got to be calculated before we order the home of how much that might cost. People do different type of driveways, people do decks and different type of landscaping. So every scenario is different. But this particular homeowner, seems pretty straightforward, where we just did a little bit of concrete up front, nice little walkway all the way up in there. But again, this is kind of what it looks like, having the two single bay, I guess, entrance into a 2-car garage. There's that cedar siding, little custom design up in the gables. Again, that was added, that wasn't standard, so I was very specific to what they wanted. But yeah, let's get this video going. All right, let me see if oops, that is not what I did. Technical error. I'm just going to speed it up just a little bit here, because the slow motion looks nice, but it takes a little bit longer to get there. All right, so the first thing that we see is this fantastic entry. Again, they just love that kind of craftsman look. So this is a custom entryway where we did kind of a vault entry, where it is, again, kind of that timber framing. Normally this is not what it would look like, but on this particular home, they paid to kind of upgrade to kind of give that craftsman grand feel as you're walking in. So really neat there, seeing that, especially all exposed. It's fantastic. We also did this kind of, it's called soffit, but it's a flat kind of roof. We did kind of wood, where normally it's a material called hardy, which is a cement fiberboard, which is what our siding is throughout our homes. But they opted to do kind of a wood soffit versus a hardy soffit. Again, just keeping with the theme. We did add additional light spaces. The homeowner did bring all these lighting. These are their fixtures that they brought after we were done with the build. But we made sure all of the electrical was there for them. This is called a transom window above the front entry door. That is included when you upgrade to the 9-foot ceilings or above. We automatically include the windows being taller, but this transom is included in that option. It's actually the only time we'll do it because there's enough space. And then that front entry door, this is what I was talking about with these windows. Normally they're full light windows where they almost go all the way to the ground, but for privacy reasons and just for, their own personal taste, they asked us to do kind of the smaller windows that were in line with the door window. So let's continue kind of going in. Oh man, that's beautiful. So keeping with that theme of that front entry, there was a little bit of debate about this wall here, what we wanted to do, but we all kind of agreed that as you walked in, you would still get this fantastic view of this kind of vaulted patio cover, great views in the back. So we just kind of left this there, kind of helped frame it. But it's just fantastic. So this was kind of customized. We spent a lot of time on the design with the homeowner. There's probably about 4 different iterations that they were debating on. We finally just landed on this one, which I think looks stunning, especially with all the trim work. Trim work really kind of helps us, this particular one, stand out, because what's standard for Adair Homes is to, like, you'll see trim work around the flooring, baseboards, and around certain doors. That will be standard. Technically, they upgraded to a craftsman style trim, but we normally do trim around kind of openings and doors. But around windows, it's drywall wrapped. And what I mean by drywall wrap, like this section here, is all considered drywall, so no trim whatsoever. That's kind of standard. This particular homeowner just didn't want to put trim on this section. But around windows, they absolutely put some fantastic trim. We'll get there in a moment, but let's continue on. So the first thing that we're looking into is that den. Again, this can be a dining room if you wanted to, but this will be the den. You'll have your doors, your closet, I'm sorry, on your right. They added a fan. What Adair did is actually just roughen the wiring for that fan. So they actually brought their own fan. Adair can provide fans if you want us to. They just had certain style that they wanted. And then they kind of come around to that kind of front entry window. And so again, they added the Craftsman trim. This is called full wrap. It means that the whole full window is wrapped with all the trim. But if you don't like that, you can keep it standard with just the drywall wrap, which actually can look nice. Or you can have us just put trim on the bottom, and that's called a sill and apron. So a bunch of different options. Every homeownership counselor will work with you on kind of your needs and what you're looking for, and we'll price that out for you. Again, every room, just to kind of point out, we put outlets basically on every wall, at least here in Washington State. I don't know all the states' codes, but here it's about every wall or every 6 feet-ish. You'll definitely see an outlet. So plenty of outlets throughout the room. If you need additional outlets, you can always ask us for additional outlets or computer setups or whatever you're needing. So pretty flexible there. We'll swing over here. This is going to be kind of the bathroom that you'll walk into. And then we have this front room here. Again, very similar to that den where you'll have, again, the Craftsman windows. These are a little bit longer because of the higher ceilings. And also, every one of our floor plans does come with a HVAC, heating and cooling ducted system. It has a heat pump outside, it has a furnace inside for cooling and heating. And our vents we put up in our ceilings. So that's kind of what the vent will look like there. Just kind of come around here. And so right here is a standard tub shower combo. That's going to be standard in all the kind of bathroom 2s and 3s. And they just kind of kept that there. They're going to put a shower curtain rod there, just leave it there. But we do have options for showers and tile. So if you did want to upgrade, that's great. And then also, just so you know, as we're walking through here, there's a couple of last minute things that we are still kind of installing. This is right before they moved in. Obviously the outside, they had some furniture because they knew the video was coming, but inside there's still a little bit of things that you might see. So as an example, the mirror, we do include mirrors. It's just, it hasn't been installed quite yet. They did do an upgraded sink here. Backsplash is going to be standard, which is a 6-inch subway tile. We do 2 rows of that. But yeah, and just kind of a light there. Then as we go there, this is kind of, there's a hallway that kind of connects the rest of the house before you get to the great room. They had us add in little electrical on either side so they can add their own sconces. Again, Adair can do sconces, but they wanted to just have us rough in the electrical, which is great. And then these right here are just, I just feel like it's amazing having this trim piece that's kind of, I don't know, going in. So you got the trim on the top, but on this particular plan, we do these like kind of nice post looking trim pieces. You can kind of see it over here. It looks really awesome kind of coming in here. But we'll get back to that in just this moment. Now we're going to be heading over towards the primary suite. So on the way over there, you're going to have double doors going in. You'll have this kind of closet before you get in there. So kind of a hallway closet, which is great. And then what you'll see here is they opted to do what we call a tray ceiling. So that's where the ceiling looks recessed. So that was an option that they like to see, kind of gives it nice character and dimensions inside of this room. But as you can see, it's super huge. They're going to be putting in their bed, obviously, roughed in another fan, nice big windows. So it's a fantastic large, and we did not modify this room at all. This is kind of the standard sizing there. And then as we get into the primary bathroom, so again, lots of upgrading going on in this particular area. So the first thing that we'll see is these vanity here. We got, again, upgraded sinks, upgraded faucets. They actually put in their own lighting here. So they replaced our lighting with their own, which is totally fine. Again, really, I know there's a little bit that we're finishing up, but they were able to kind of get in there with coordination. But anyways, they kind of redesigned their vanity, the cabinets, so it kind of worked better for what they were needing. And then they asked us to add this kind of makeup vanity in there, which I think works great for the space. We have a nice window right above it. So it was for them to kind of sit down, do some prep work in the morning. And then obviously this awesome big old shower that they did. So super custom. In the sense of just the design tile is something that we can do. We did not do this fixturing here, but we definitely did everything else here. And what they plan on doing is coming back with some custom glass to enclose this. That was just something that Adair wasn't offering at that time. So we were able to prep it. And then they're coming over and they're going to put in and install their own glass, which is fantastic. Another view of that vanity. Again, mirrors are going to go in. Some pebble tile, so it's called a mud set pan. Oops, I guess we jumped over here real quick to the closet. So as you walk from the primary suite, you walk into the primary bathroom, and then on the other side of the primary bathroom is then their walk-in closet. And so shelf and pole is standard. We don't do the kind of the wired, but it's going to be the wood shelf and pole. Some homeowners will paint this, some homeowners will leave it just how it comes, but that will be on one side, and then the other side had it as well. So kind of coming back out of there, they did tile flooring. I think in general the flooring, so which was an upgrade. They upgraded the rest of the house to a laminate flooring, so it's a mix of tile and laminate throughout the house that you're going to be seeing. Over here is the kind of the water closet. I think they were going to keep it like that. So it's just unique design for them. I'm coming back out here to a nice big primary suite with a beautiful view. And then again, this is for them. This is looking towards the garage. Again, it actually would be a little bit longer. You'd actually be looking at the utility room if you kept on going down this hallway on the standard design, but instead they did a little bit of modification, but it's just a nice big long hallway, which is awesome. I think we'll be turning here. Just gorgeous. So you could be cooking, entertaining, looking into this great room. You got a little nook over there. That's where they're going to set up their kind of like dining, eating area. And then just wow. So they opted to do the vault. We added some additional lighting in the great room. We roughed in for them to install their own fan. Obviously the window package just looks fantastic. Now I know I told you about that drawing where it looked like the patio cover was really going to kind of alter the view, but I just think it works perfect for kind of being a little bit lower. You're looking out right through there, so you still get a little bit of view through this one, through kind of the design that they did with the patio cover, and then just beautiful view going out on their property. I think it was a 5-acre piece of property. There's a whole community, a bunch of 5 acres. So again, just stunning. Over here to our right, they added the gas fireplace. So it's just kind of our standard design gas. We do wood burning, we do electric, but it kind of our pre-price is gas. And then they asked us to do these built-ins. And so we partner with our cabinet company, which is Ridgecrest Cabinetry, to kind of custom design those cabinets there, custom design this mantle. And those cabinets are actually on both sides of this fireplace. And then they're going to be installing their TV above there. This is now another look at the kitchen, and holy moly, that island is huge. It's one of our bigger islands that we kind of pre-design. I don't think we did any modifications to that, but you kind of get some drawers on the great room side, which is great for extra storage, some bar stool seating, and this just massive counter space, which is just fantastic. A lot of room to, prep or just have people hanging around, which is great. And then this hood here, that's a custom hood. This is not normally what we would do, our hood cover, as far as just a standard. So they asked us to do that, which is great. I think it looks fantastic. They upgraded the cabinets to be what we call painted cabinets. There's a lot of different colors you can choose from. They just chose this color. The style of cabinet is called shaker. And so the shaker is kind of that, the look there that they chose. That is technically standard. That's a standard style, but upgraded painted. They chose our standard knobs, so they didn't have to upgrade the knobs. Those were part of the base price. This crown molding is standard on our cabinets. It just kind of, it gives a really nice finish to those. These lighting up here on the ceiling is going to be standard in all of our floor plans, so no upgrades there. You can obviously add additional. What they did is they did add us to do some pendant lightings, and then they just swapped out the fixturing. But they will like the pendant lights above the island, which I think looks great. And then appliances. This is our gourmet kitchen appliances. So if you ever see that on our website, when we talk about gourmet kitchen appliances or gourmet kitchen, really all we're saying is making room in the kitchen, standard layout, but making room, maybe taking away some cabinetry to add in two wall ovens, a cooktop, either gas or electric. They opted for the gas here, and then a microwave, and then there's a dishwasher as well. So those would be what these homeowners selected, was the gourmet kitchen appliances. What does come standard in Adair's appliance kind of options is a microwave hood, which would normally kind of be right here, a range. So it's kind of an all-in-one range, like oven, and then a cooktop on there, electric, and then a dishwasher. Those would be what's included in our base price. Again, they opted to upgrade to our gourmet kitchen. One thing that we're looking at that we did not provide, and actually we still don't provide, are refrigerators. So the refrigerators are always going to be what a homeowner needs to bring themselves. But what we do have back there is a water line for an ice maker box. That's standard in our base pricing, and then an electrical outlet ready for that refrigerator to come in. They added a pot filler, which is kind of unique. That was something that they just loved. So we kind of added a pot filler on there, which is just fantastic. So let's continue looking at this. Man, there are cabinet spaces, enough room to store whatever you want. They did the farmhouse sink. So that was an upgrade from our standard stainless steel double sink, which just looks fantastic with the quartz upgraded countertops. And it's just a beautiful kitchen. I love it. A little bit closer look of some of the upgraded things. Backsplash, that was actually something, we don't offer that backsplash anymore, but that was something that you do have an option to either upgrade with some of our selections, or actually ask us to not do any backsplash. It'll put a little disclaimer saying, hey, we won't install backsplash. But you do have to wait till after the build, after we're done, to then install your own backsplash. But they did kind of what we would consider full height backsplash. And there's that gas burner. The company we partner with is Maytag. Maytag owns a few different brands. So either it's going to be Maytag, that's in our base price, or you might upgrade to Maytag Gourmet Kitchen Appliances. I mean Whirlpool, sorry. Whirlpool would be the upgrade. Maytag, there was a little bit of supply issues over the past 2 years. So Maytag is also owned by Whirlpool, but what the brand will actually be is Whirlpool branded, or we have a KitchenAid option. So if you like the kind of KitchenAid line, we do have that available. But Whirlpool again is our appliances, but so that's the view coming from the garage. In the standard design, the utility room, and holy moly, that is looking fantastic. You got your hallway down to the primary suite. You got a beautiful view looking out, lots of windows. The great room, again, upgraded cabinets on either side of that upgraded gas fireplace. Just looks absolutely fantastic.
Hey,
Right.
Chris, just real quick,
Yeah.
just a beautiful home for entertaining there with, friends and family coming over with that view. That looks really good. But just one question was in regards to on the gourmet kitchen, what would be included on the vent hood? Because I know they did some custom work there with the cabinetry.
Yeah, and so if it's okay, let me back out. And what's kind of neat is we have access to an option book. So if you're ever chatting with us and you need to look at some of that, so here's going to be the standard appliances here that are included in our base price. And then as we kind of go through, we looked at all these, potential upgrade options. We'll run into kind of the upgrade gourmet kitchen appliances. So right here is going to be with the standard hood. Let me make that a little bit bigger. But off to the right here is going to be our standard design of a hood, and above that would be a cabinetry. So it'll just be some more cabinetry kind of hiding the vent that goes out to outside, but this would be the standard. And so I guess when we are looking at the video, let me just go back just a tad bit. Really what's happening here is it's a cover that would kind of go over that hood, right? So that hood, let me go back just a little bit further. Let me see if I can get a good view of that. So up inside there is a hood that would be that design. We're just covering it with a fancier cover is really what we're doing there. But yeah, great question. Did I answer it, Justin?
Yep, you sure did.
Perfect. All right. Yep. So I'll just kind of look at this again. I don't know. I just love that. All right. So as we're kind of going through here, again, this is where it kind of gets a little bit customized to this particular homeowner, because this would not be what you normally see when you're going this direction in the kitchen. So what they did is that this is where a walk-in pantry is. They asked us to add a rough-in because they were doing a light fixture there. So they kind of like that design, having the light fixture there. So as we're walking through, and just real quick, while I have the screen open, right here off to the right is our standard door style. It's a 6-panel door style. And then this here is going to be our upgraded, kind of more craftsman style door that they did. This one here, it leads out to the garage, and so they were fine with that. But here is what they wanted throughout the rest of the house. So as we kind of come in here, nice little walk-in pantry. These are the shelves that, they asked us to add a little bit more because this was a little bit customized, but generally in our walk-in pantries, you will see these wood shelves to place, all your goods in. Asked us to add a nice window in there. So as we whip around, again, if we went straight here would be the utility room normally, but as we kind of go through here, this is where the utility room is now. This would be where I think the standard pantry is designed, and then the grilling porch would just be off to the left there. But upgraded flooring, put a nice window so it gives some light in there. We have an option above the washer and dryer that standard in our base price would give you a shelf. So you put your laundry detergents and that kind of stuff up there. But if you opted to, you could do a nice cabinetry up there. There's so many potential additional options you could do, but we do have a design where you can add some cabinetry. This is another appliance that Adair does not manage or do, is washer and dryer. So that would be, besides the refrigerator, another appliance that you would need to bring. But the hookups are there. We always are going to assume in our base price electric, but we can do gas if you needed. But electric hookup for the washer and dryer and the water lines are all going to be there for you. It's just we don't do those appliances at the moment. And then there's that timber frame patio cover. So now we're looking at the back of the house. Obviously, they have a nice slope coming off. Great views, unobstructed. This is again the back of the kind of shop garage area. This is going to be the nook. This is going to be the primary suite, and then just that nice huge patio cover just looks really fantastic. I think in that last shot you could see the heat pump. That's where we would normally put it. They also have a gas propane tank. I guess it's just propane tank. And that's going to be for the gas stove or cooktop, I'm sorry, and then the gas fireplace. So they didn't have natural gas out there. And so even though our appliances are meant to be maybe natural gas, there's little options to convert them into LP or liquid propane. And so that's what these homeowners opted to do is bring a tank out off on the side. That way they can have kind of their gas fireplace and their gas cooktop. This right here is one version of our HVAC system, either a big gray unit or the kind of slimmer. We partner with a couple different brands, but that's kind of where it would be, and that can be placed wherever outside. Just another shot there, just beautiful. And then again, there's the front of the house.
Of course, it's raining in Washington there with the video.
Yes, yes, it is currently raining now with hopefully some snow coming. But yeah, so that's going to be a little bit more about the Tamarack, the customization. You know, there's a little bit that goes into us modifying the home, potentially a little extra design that goes into it, a little extra steps when we sit down with, like, we have our own drafting team, our own purchasing team. So we're really there from start to finish to really see, okay, what does the lot look like? We go out there, look at it for free. That way we understand what we're getting into. And then we can really customize the house floor plan and understand when we're in the design portion of that meeting. Okay, Justin, anything that you would like to talk about that maybe I haven't, or some questions? Well,
sure. Yeah, just a question here for you as far as just, you know, timing and how long something like this might take. And before you jump into that question, just to remind everyone that yes, we definitely love this to be engaging as much as possible. So if you have any questions whatsoever, please go ahead and fire away on the Q&A feature down there at the bottom. We'd love to be able to interact with you and answer any questions you might have. But yeah, Chris, if you wouldn't mind, maybe just kind of touching on the timing of the process.
Yeah, which is kind of one of our biggest questions we get, besides, you know, just how much does this project cost? So the timing is very specific to your location where you're building. So I'll kind of speak a little bit for maybe Washington State and maybe a little bit more about my specific location. Just know that we kind of go over all timing during our initial visit, so you really understand what you'd be expecting if you do move forward with Adair Homes. So in general, we kind of have a couple parts. You have the actual building of the home, and then you have all the other stuff that happens prior, all the prep work before you actually build the home. So in general, at least out of our office, that whole time frame is about 13-14 months to get through the entire process, at least in our build location. What that time frame does not take into account is how long it might take you to find a piece of property, right? You might be looking for a little bit. We have realtors that we like to refer if you don't have a realtor. We have a ton of trade partners, all sorts of connections. So if you ever need help, we're a great resource. But in general, about 13 to 14 months is going to be the total build time from the time that you say, yep, that is the project, the pricing, the home design. We feel good about everything. We order the home to then moving in. That's a general time frame. And then, did you have anything to add to that time frame, Justin?
Yeah, no, I did. I think that covers it pretty well. But, you know, you brought up how Adair supports, you know, our customers in regards to finding land. Would you mind touching on the site portion as far as, you know, site improvements for power, water, and sewer? How do we make our customers' experience great, or how do we make it easier when it comes to that?
Yeah, that's great. So I will say, probably every single one of my homeowners that don't own land do not know anything about building a house. They just know they want a house, and they are looking to get our guidance on how to make that happen. So the neat thing about every branch is there's going to be a homeownership counselor like myself and Justin that we sit down and we kind of get a better feeling of what the project is going to look like. And the neat thing is that we are a part of that conversation to see, okay, well, what does that property already have? Does it have, well, every property needs the same stuff. So does it have power? Does it have water? Does it have sewer? Or does it need septic? Or does it need a well? Trees removed? So all these things that, maybe you weren't thinking about because we're all just thinking about the home. But that's where our expertise kind of come in. And the neat thing is we actually have a lot of great connections. Again, we've been around for 50 plus years. We've built lots of trade partners, lots of experience, reliable partners that we can sit there and really within a matter of 2 weeks of you maybe identifying a piece of property, we'll come out and we'll evaluate it. We'll get some estimates of how much all that stuff will cost. And then we present that back to you and say, hey, if we were to move forward with this piece of property within about 2 to 3 weeks, we will understand kind of the overall cost that would fit your budget if you move forward. So again, it's super easy. There is a lot of moving parts, but that's kind of what you get when you use Adair Homes, is you get our guidance and our expertise and our knowledge to make that as easy as possible. So it could be fairly simple with a lot of moving parts because of our involvement.
Perfect. All right, Chris, that's all I got on my end.
Okay. And then again, just as a reminder, on our website, for any questions at all, we do have this awesome chat section where you can chat with our online sales team. They're very knowledgeable, and what they're designed to do is they're designed to kind of really direct you to the right branch, right, or the right office location. You might be in Washington State, Arizona, and so by going there, you can really connect with them, see if we might be a great fit for you, and if we are, we move to kind of setting up either a virtual appointment or an in-person appointment at the branch, and kind of go over what this project might look like for you specifically in that area. So just kind of want a reminder that it's on our website at all times. But yeah, I appreciate everybody coming in today, watching our Tamarack. It was a beautiful home. Thank you, Justin, so much for answering some of the questions and hanging out with me. I really appreciate that.
You bet. Thank you.
All right. Bye, guys.
See ya.